Now, usually I actually start the podcast off because I'm staring at like the live screen, waiting for it to tell me that we're live. But we're actually just recording this in such a way where it's not live. So, unfortunately, no one gets a huge explosive buildup with me going like "woo." That's what I usually do. Dude, David, what is up, man? It is super nice to have you on here. You are definitely the largest SaaS owner that we've had on the pod so far. So it's
Awesome.
super glad to have you here, man.
Hey, great to be here. I appreciate the invite, and hopefully I can give away some value.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk a little bit about like what your journey looked like prior to discovering HighLevel. Like, how did you get to this point? Like, were you an agency owner? What kind of stuff were you doing?
Yeah, so we were an agency owner. We had about 20 plus clients. We were guaranteeing page one rankings at the time because the clients wouldn't really listen to anything else. We would try to pitch branding down their throat and tell them how important reviews are, but they really didn't hear it at the time. And so we were guaranteeing page one rankings. They love the tangible feel of that. They can tell their buddies, hey, da-da-da, and they would get live phone calls. It was great. While we were doing that, one of our clients had a buddy who he came in and was like, can you guarantee me a page one ranking for We Buy Houses Baltimore? Like I told him, we have to do our investigation. We have to test it out. We don't know. We just can't guarantee everybody a page one ranking. So we tested it out. In 3 days, we were on page one. In 7 days, we got our first phone call. And he closed that client, and he was like, bro, I want more of that. And I'm like, bro, so do I. That's great. I'm happy for you. He was like, look, let's partner up 50-50. You supply the leads, and, I'll close the clients. And I don't want to have to pay anything on the front end. You're going to have to do all the ranking, but we'll be partners. And I said, does that include this one? Because I just heard the phone call. I heard that phone call, and that was a close, brother. Good job. And because he was so smooth on, I was like, let him do what he does best, which is talk to these homeowners, and I'll do what I do best. And since I'm pretty confident in my skill set, let's go ahead. And so we started getting page one rankings for We Buy Houses Baltimore, Sell My House Fast Baltimore. Then we expanded to Towson and all the surrounding counties. And before you know it, we had 200 plus page one rankings. And then we expanded nationwide, and we started getting like 200 calls a day. And it went
okay. So you went from an SEO agency. Now, in this SEO agency, were you working with real estate investors at that time?
No, that was not an issue that we were providing.
Some guy was like, hey, my friend wants a page one ranking for his real estate biz.
Well, because we had done an attorney. So his attorney buddy they were friends. And I got him on page one. He was like, look at me, I'm on page one now because of this kid. And so that's where he was like, well, I want to be on page one too. I think I could leverage that for my business. And that's when he came to us and asked us. And I was like, look, we usually do attorneys, and that's our strong suit. So I don't know. I have to test this out, But yeah, we rock and roll with it.
And so then, did you kind of transition from, because it sounds like, did you stop doing your agency stuff because you were just burning so much money with the real estate stuff? Or
no, it was just a secondary stream of income. It was like, okay, well, this is easy because there was no effort in it because all we had to do was page one ranking. So that's what that was easy. So that was like free money. And so it kind of opened our eyes into real estate investing. Yeah, we loved it. We actually, within 6 months, we were making more with the real estate than we were with our agency. And so that's when I was like, let's start, seeing what we could do with this real estate investing, this wholesaling stuff. I started watching. So I had known about real estate investing, but not wholesaling. So I listened to Cody Sperber a while before, and I invested $35,000 into a flip home in Baltimore, and I bought the home, put $100,000 into the home, but the contractors ate me alive. I had no idea. I was at the home every single day, and I still didn't know that they were doing shit subpar. And before you know it, we got a home that's completed, looks gorgeous, and right when we put it on the market, at the time, what was it? Oh, the government shut down. And since Baltimore's so close to D.C., D.C. oozes all the money. It just froze the real estate market there.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, so I've got $130,000 invested into this property, and I'm like, wow, we are about to be the first one that was about to be a home run, and it turned into a debacle. So to make everything right, I ended up buying the home and living in the home, which is probably the blessing and the curse. But anyways, that was a long time ago. So I had some real estate investing experience. That experience didn't go so well. So that's when I had pivoted over to marketing. And then I got reacclimated to real estate investing when this kid walks into my office talking about, can you be on page one?
Oh, wow. Okay.
There was a couple years spread in between there because I had tried real estate investing, got slapped. It was a total disaster.
Yeah.
Pivoted over into page one rankings, was very good at that, very good at SEO. It just came naturally to me. I partnered with some guys to learn this, and I was like, hey, I'm on page one for this. Is this any good? And they were like, yo, you're on page one for what? And I was like, yeah, is this good? And he was like, bro, how'd you do this? And so I tried it again. I was just a natural at that, so that became easy. The hard part was convincing people that it was important back then.
Yeah, what year was that?
That was 2013, 2014, 2015.
Oh, yeah.
And page one, it just wasn't. It was a little bit more difficult. It was more of a conversation for these attorneys to have to convince them to invest into this. It wasn't as tangible results as, let's say, a Facebook ad that they could just run and see people click. But yeah, so we soon started making as much money or more money than the marketing agency. And then that was 2019. So I just found out about HighLevel as well. And they were marketing and pitching, but I was in the space, so I get pitched a lot of products all the time.
Yeah.
And I see developers come and go and make the wildest promises. And the only thing you have in this space is your reputation. So you can't just introduce product after product after product that's subpar to people. And I wasn't convinced at first. It took a 6-month period before I was really convinced they were still around and they were growing. This was 2019, and the people in the space that were actually in the group were really excited about everything. And so I started paying more and more attention. And then COVID hit. And within like a 3-day period, all of our clients fired us. And why not? They can fire us and still see page one rankings for the next couple of months because our SEO, you can't really turn off SEO. So, you can remove a backlink or two if you want to be petty with them, you know what I mean? But I just figured, hey, it was COVID related. I'm going to try to do my best to keep them on page one as much as possible to come back around. So we didn't do anything nefarious. We gave them the full service and let them rank forever. But it was a blessing and a curse because I was like, oh boy, this HighLevel thing better work out because we ain't got nothing else now. So
at that time, so your SEO agents, your SEO clients fired you, whatever. Were you still running this whole thing on the other side with the real estate,
yes,
houses SEO stuff?
Yeah, so that was still working out very well. But people were scared there for a while too. COVID hit, nobody wanted nobody in their house. So they didn't want you walking in trying to get look at anything. So yeah, that was dead. You know what I'm saying? So the sales there went from plentiful to, nothing as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
and at some point when it came to were you using HighLevel as a part of your SEO agency, or were you doing it for this operation? For the
100% not a part of my SEO business at all. But as we started getting into the real estate investing, I wanted software to help the automation. And I was looking for it, and it didn't exist. It didn't exist in the space at all. One or two companies out there charging $500 and north of that to do it. And I'm like, wow, this HighLevel people are making these wild claims like I can pay $500 to get unlimited people. I said, these people crazy. We're going to change that. I said, there's definitely some room in the space here because there's no software. There is no all-in-one software. It didn't exist then. So
you wanted to find a solution for your own real estate operation. That's when you found HighLevel and you're like, if I have unlimited accounts, I can sell this as SaaS. Now so that was like the thing that was going through your head, but at the time there was no SaaS mode, right? Did you hear about other people selling it as SaaS, or were you like, screw it, we're selling this thing as freaking SaaS?
I said, screw it. So because I don't like being on, it's two things, twofold. One, I wasn't a guru. I just started, so I'm not going to sit here and try to coach other people on how to do wholesaling when my partner's doing half of the work.
Yeah.
I'm not the one on the phone with the homeowners. I don't close with homeowners. Actually, I was horrible at that. I would get in front of homeowners and I would start sweating and it was bad. I'm surprised they didn't throw me out. Like, they were uncomfortable, like, yo, are you all right? And I'm like, yes, ma'am, just hiding here. Yes, ma'am. So I was horrible at that part, but my partner was great. So I was like, I'm not going to walk on the scene as some fake guru. I'm not a guru guy. So we're just selling SaaS. I'm giving you a username, I'm giving you a login, and I'm going to give you an onboarding to treat so that you understand the power of this, because no matter what, you don't need me. You just need to understand how powerful this tool can be for your software, for your business, for your own real estate investing business, because these guys are charging $300 to $500 a month, and we're going to slide right in. And first of all, real estate investing changed our life. It was our second stream of income. It kind of allowed us to go from where we were to, where we were headed. And I was like, man, wholesaling can really change people's lives if done properly. You don't need a whole lot of money down. You don't really need a whole lot of education. You got to find what the problem is for that homeowner and solve it. Well, that's awesome. And if you do it right, you can really change your life. And I said, I don't want a software to be the barrier to entry here. So not everyone has a thriving business on the side that can help pay for that, And so my goal was, when somebody asked about real estate investing, I wanted REIReply to be in the conversation. If a newbie comes over here and says, look, what's the number one software for a brand new guy that ain't got a whole lot of money that I can use to handle my business from start to wherever we're going, I wanted to be in that conversation.
Wow.
And I think we've done
it. And that's crazy. And since then you've scaled to over 3,500 users, which is amazing. Yeah. When you were first getting started, how did you promote it? Like, how did you get the word out there? How did it first start?
YouTube paid ads. YouTube paid ads. Wrote out a script, hired a lady to do the video on a green screen, threw some B-roll behind it, and added some, pop, and started putting that on YouTube in front of everybody. We did that for the first year, and then we shut that down after the first year, and we haven't done paid ads since. It's all word of mouth now. We get 20 to 30 sales a day. It's all word of mouth.
It's like if you front load the ads, and if you can get it viral enough, then at that point, like, the word of mouth becomes its own sales mechanism.
Yeah, so I would say for new SAT community, man, build a community. Make sure that your community is like that. Invest in your community. Do whatever it takes to nurture that community, and that community will take care of you. We got bad mouth on a couple of big platforms, and our community went out there and drove savage, went after these people, and build a community. They will take care of you. Take care of them. Give them something that's beyond their comprehension. That was our biggest problem at first. Convincing people it was legit. It was real. People were like, no, it's too good to be true. I'm calling bullshit. There's no way this is real. That was our biggest problem.
Wow. So when it comes to what problems exactly were you solving for these real estate investors, for these wholesalers?
So before, they needed Calendly, they needed a texting platform, they needed to piece together their email platform. So most of them had those three components. A dialer, there's a fourth component. All of these little pieces put together. Now they have nothing in there for their Facebook messaging, their GMBs. All of these were separate logins, and it was driving me wild. So, and this is the problem that I was solving for myself. It was driving me wild as an owner, because I'm doing the same things I'm telling my marketing agencies to do. Hey, reputation's important. Get on your GMBs, be page one. And as I'm doing this, I'm like, wow, another freaking login. Unbelievable. Another freaking login. I can see why these business owners don't want to go through all this. It sucks.
Yeah.
HighLevel completely changed the game for all of that. And as soon as they don't have a niche for real estate investing. They have one for realtors, and there's some nuances there, but there's a big difference, which we were able to identify because we actually ran a real estate investing business. So, and we did it at HighLevel too. We weren't, we didn't do 3 deals and say, oh yeah, we're freaking ready to go. We were doing 10 to 15 deals a month. I mean, that's cranking it out there, wholesaling. We were doing good numbers, no problem. But when we tried to, Podio was like the number one go-to. I invested $2,500 for a developer to make my own super Podio, right? And it just still didn't work. So here was the problem with that. As I grew, every single seat that came on board, they were banging me in the head for another $40. Before I knew it, we had $300 a month after paying the developer $2,500 one time to build it out, and it still didn't do everything that.
Yeah, I just kind of like a flashback to Podio, dude. How horrifying that shit is.
Yes, absolutely. And so, yeah, again, when we switched over, it was just me, right? So I lost all my clients. It was just me. It was a nightmare. And immediately I said, look, the number one bottleneck that we're going to have, without a doubt, is if they don't understand how to use the tool, they're never going to use it. If they don't use it, we'll lose our clients. We have to solve this onboarding. It's like having a private jet. You can give it to me. That's awesome. Looks sexy. I don't know how to fly this on this. What am I going to do with this? So unless I either get a pilot or someone teaches me how to do it, this is worthless to me. Looks good. That's it. And that's the same thing I took with this. Immediately we started hiring support. And then, right now, at first it was just me. Right now I'm blessed. I have my better half who runs everything now. But back then it was just me. I had to 4X her income before she would make the pivot from corporate America over to the business, which it was, I understand. She went to college. She earned her position. She was rocking and rolling. She was, way up there in corporate America. So making the transition over to working from home, that didn't work so well at first.
So you started talking about something which is like, and I feel like a lot of people kind of suffer with this. They're not really quite sure how to position their product to their customers in the onboarding process so that they actually use it, right? Just like you said, it's like a private jet, right? If you don't know how to fly it, though, it's freaking useless. So like, what kind of steps have you taken, like in that onboarding process, would you say, to make it really, really sticky and really good?
So we did a couple things. So we did unlimited onboardings. You and your team, bring yourself and bring whoever's going to actually run the system. So everyone's at a different level. I assume that we would get people that have people in place already. So we want all of them on board. They all need to use the tool and learn the tool properly. And then unlimited onboarding. So you can never say you don't know it. That's your laziness then, because all you got to do is book another calendar. We have 4 calendars and 20 people here ready for you to train you and your staff. So we eliminate all excuses. It can't be that. It can't be because you don't know how to use the tool. Say you didn't want to use the tool. Say you're too busy to learn the tool. You can say a lot of other things. You can't say because we didn't provide you what you needed to learn the tool. And as long as we did our job, I'm comfortable. But that's the number one thing that we focused on: hiring in-house onboarders, unlimited onboarding. We send you the recording afterwards so that you can go over it with your team as many times as you need. Rebook another one, as many as you want. Please don't abuse it. That's it.
Okay, cool. So would you say that you feel like the way that you approached onboarding is probably one of the biggest keys to your success?
1,000%.
Yeah,
I believe so. Yes.
Because I'm sure, like, as people started seeing REIReply winning, like as some of these different gurus and stuff like that, they probably just trying to copy the platform. Like, what would you say, like, about your process kind of made your business like insusceptible to like someone just copying and pasting the same snapshot, right? And just trying to sell that. Would you say that it was your onboarding process? What do you feel like really made the company like withstand that?
At first, it was nobody knew who the back end was. No one knew about HighLevel, so that was a protection at first. That was probably like for the first 6 months to a year, but then the onboarding process definitely separated ourselves, but also the price. So I wanted to make sure that you couldn't copy me without making the same financial investment that I made before I started making money. So I started hiring people before we were even profitable, because I knew how important that was. And so, if you want to dance now or play in the sandbox, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because, again, we've added a lot of things now. It looks nothing like the same tool and nothing like what you get from HighLevel. So right now I feel pretty insulated. I know we've We've had a lot of not copycatters. I mean, hey, the sandbox is a big sandbox. There's room enough for everybody. But by the same token, now we're competitors, and I'm trying to crush you. So, I'm doing what I got to do to make that a reality, and everyone's more than welcome to do what they got to do to come make it a reality. Get 3,500 of their own users. So.
Yeah, so it sounds like, as the competitors came up, you just doubled down and try to create the best possible service.
Absolutely, 100%. I know for a fact that it doesn't matter. You're going to make sales until they hear about us, and I'm good with that. So, because once they hear about REIReply, there's no how can you possibly compete with that? You know what I mean? We just offer too much. It's just it's everything that you have plus more for half the price. A lot of times, way less than that. 3, 4, 5 times the price.
So since you've launched, I'm sure the product has changed. I know that I think I bought I think I have an REIReply subscription, or I used to have one at least. Remember, it came with things like different text campaigns and websites and stuff like that. As you have grown, in order to kind of maintain that competitive advantage, have you been adding more to the snapshot, or have you tried to keep it simple, stupid?
We've added small things to the snapshot, but we've added other integrations like a skip trace butler so that it talks directly with their account, so they can grab all their data, skip trace it at a price that's cheaper than everyone else's in the market, upload that clean data into their account, and then take it from there. We've added spend taxes will be added next week. We've added just a couple of other integrations that are very useful for us in our business when we're doing real estate full time, and so just things like that other people, if they're in the space, then they would appreciate those things. If you're not in the space, then you're probably not going to know what's going on or see value in it.
But you touched on something, which is like skip trace butler, which actually that's a platform that you built, you own, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We thought it would be smart to vertically integrate and to provide value. I mean, so we saw that at the time, other data providers were being very stingy or being very greedy, rather. They were charging a lot. So we started the very first 5-cent skip trace, and now there's like 2 others out there, but we started that about a year ago.
Okay, cool. So as you built, right, as you started getting more market share, right, mm-hmm. a move that you had made to ensure that you maintain that market share is to build things more than just what HighLevel has to offer, right? With the skip trace butler, basically, a part of the real estate investor marketing process for all those who are watching is getting in contact with people who we believe might be looking to sell their home. So a lot of that relies on being able to pull data, skip trace it, which means to get contact information for the data that we've pulled before going ahead and marketing to it. And so what David has done here by building, a skip trace butler and integrating it right into their platform is now they have what I call like a fusion SaaS, right? It's more than just HighLevel, right? We've built on something else. We've bolted it on that provides a unique kind of sales proposition. And so I think it was really smart for you as you moved on, right, to invest into expanding it, because now that's something that doesn't just come into HighLevel, right? HighLevel will never build that because it's so niche. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so now you've further kind of established that competitive edge, because no newbie who's going to come into kind of the HighLevel space is going to have the funds to be able to build their own platform and integrate it seamlessly with the product. Now, yeah,
that's what we're hoping.
So you've obviously you're kind of you're grandfathered into but prior to the MAP, right? So it's just very similar to Pipeline Pro in that way. So I think that you're charging $49 per month right now for your customers. Okay. So there's kind of a strategy when it comes to marketing that a lot of businesses take, which is like, it's called penetrative pricing, which is like starting out super low to consolidate as much market share as possible. And then over time, like raise the price as you have collected a huge user base. Do you see that down the line you may go into like raising the price in that way because now you have so much market share?
If we do, it won't be because of market share. It will be because we added more value, more software, more things that make us uniquely different in the space. And because of that, I would have to raise the price to facilitate that type of growth and to continue adding more value to the users, but not because of market share. I'll never raise the price because of that, because because REIReply would look different. There's certain things that we are adding, we are working towards. So one of those things is spin tax, right? The other thing is a DocuSign killer type of product that integrates. It's very needed in our space. Every single state has different laws, so everyone's documents look different. We'll be adding that here shortly. Then our InvisiLeads product. So a lot of problems with our users and this niche in particular is people like to go to the website at 2-3 in the morning. They're tossing and turning in bed, they have a problem, and they go to your website, it's 1 a.m, and they don't fill out your form, you'd never know they're there. So you just add a pixel to your website and we'll capture all the anonymous traffic. And I think that's going to be very beneficial.
That's true.
To a lot of our users.
I think I've heard of it, InvisiLeads. So just for everyone who's watching who doesn't know what InvisiLeads is, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay, but I think that one of my clients showed me this not too long ago. Basically, what it does is everyone who clicks onto your website, it actually shows you who they are. You're like, and if you're watching this and you're just used to using a pixel, you're like, how the hell are you doing that? Right. But it relates it back to like a huge data center who has actually related their particular like IP addresses with an email address and stuff like that. Right.
Correct. 100% correct.
Yeah.
So when you click on agree to cookies, that's big data. And somewhere in there, you've agreed that they're going to sell your data at some point. I'm the guy buying it. And so because of your IP, we match your IP to the IP that you're on. But we also have deeper than IP matching. I just won't go into it right now. It's one of our competitive advantages. So, but on an IP by IP level, it tells us everything. So you don't need to fill out anything. We've already matched it. We've already paid for the data. We just matched it too. And now your profile comes up, your name, age, male, female, what car you drive, your political, personal preference, everything you've bought or websites that you went to, we pay for all the data. And it's expensive. but because we're using it in other platforms, I can afford to add it to all of our REIReply users on the house. And that's just another thing that just tremendous value there. So while you're sleeping, anyone that goes to your website, we're collecting 40% of those turn into actual leads is what we're seeing.
Okay, amazing. And so you're able to just put that straight into the actual like high level funnel, right? And then
it goes right into you as a lead. It'll just be tagged InvisiLead so that they didn't opt in, but we still got them. They're still on your site, and you should probably give them a call. They're probably primed and ready to go. They're on your site looking for information. That
is actually literally amazing.
Which is why I invested in it. I was like, yeah, we need this. This is hot for our niche. As a plumber, you may not need that, right? You got an emergency service that's already going to answer the phone and all that. But in our niche, man, nothing exists for it. So it's perfect.
So you said that you had started out by yourself. So I'm just to kind of backtrack a tiny bit. You said that did you start REIReply by yourself, or do you have that partner from the real estate biz, or is this like a separate entity type deal?
But no, REIReply 100% mine. I own it full out. And that's one thing I will tell all owners. So when we first started REIReply, we went to 3 people and asked them to partner up with us. Yeah. One was an influencer in the space that I knew would be amazing. I said, bro, look, we've done all the work. Pay me $10K, we'll be 50-50 partners. Just get to be caught up to everything that I've invested into right now. We become 50-50 partners. Let's rock and roll with this thing. Turned down. The greatest no I ever heard in my life. But that was like the second or third no. We had heard no 2 or 3 times. And my God, thank God that happened. Because REIReply would have been, it wouldn't be the same. It just... Don't have a partner. If you can, try not to have a partner until you have a couple under your belt. Then you have strategic partners because your most important thing is saving your time. So now I have partners on like 5 different projects because it reduces the time that I have to invest in those projects to still maximize profit. Right. But when you're starting your core one, you need all that profit to make it grow. You need all that profit so that you can build certain things into it to keep your competitors off you, because as soon as you get a name, they start coming, which is why I intentionally don't talk about our SaaS at high level. Like in the group, we we intentionally, while growing, now I don't care, like, but while growing, we were still very vulnerable, and there's very sharp guys. I'm not a smart guy. I don't even want to use smart guys like you say. I'm just coming over here crushing my SaaS while I'm still a baby SaaS.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man. So you started this by yourself, and at what point, like, how many users were you, like, approximately before you started bringing on team members and be like, man, I can't.
No users before we hired our first team member. So no users, and we hired our first team member to onboard. Because that's not me, right? I'm not. If the business relied on me onboarding, we'd have no users. We'd be like, we'd retain 1 in 10. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that guy. So we knew we had to hire immediately. So we hired immediately, and then we kept hiring. So I don't really know, because we just kept hiring. As soon as she knew what she was doing, we hired another person, and we hired about 7 immediately. Just for onboarding. Because I knew we were going to blow. I had a lot of confidence in my marketing skills. I knew we were going to get in front of people. I knew this thing was a no-brainer offer. What I didn't know is that it would be associated with too good to be true, and that was the next thing that we had to overcome. So that's where we started doing testimonial after testimonial after testimonial after testimonial, and just crushed them with testimonials. And then people were like, well, shit, I want in. This thing might be true. I'll take the chance for $49. For $49, why not take the chance, brother? We're not here to scam you. That's
exactly. And even so, it's like, once you price, low enough, people are just like, screw it. I mean, $49. If I lose $49, who cares?
That's right. That's right.
So you immediately, you were pretty bullish on this project from the jump, and so you had no problem with trying to invest. And it sounds like the first few people that you had brought on were like the people who were facilitating the onboarding and stuff like that.
Yep.
And so as you've grown now, how large is your team?
20.
I know that your wife now works and manages most of it now. But how big is the team underneath her?
20 people. She manages 20 people. So about 17 onboarders and support, and then the rest, like her father does a lot of admin stuff. Her niece does a lot of admin stuff and support stuff on a higher level when it gets past a certain point.
So you're doing all your onboarding and support at any point. Maybe, and it's entirely possible that this may not have even been around when you were getting started. But did you ever consider using like a third party company like HL Pro Tools or Extendly, to help with your onboarding and support?
Yeah. So like you said, it wasn't around then. And then when they did come around, although we have tried them, we're niche specific. So it's a little bit more difficult because our people are asking questions about Skip Trace Butler. They don't know anything about that. We built that. We built Skip Trace Butler. They're asking certain questions about real estate investing, and they don't know anything about that. That's not even a niche inside of Go High Level. So it wasn't a good fit for us, although I would highly recommend it for any newer SaaS guys. Definitely take advantage of that. 1,000%. Reinvest in your business. Take advantage. Take as much off of your load as possible. Unless you're the type of person that just really loves helping people and you're a really go-getter that loves talking to people, that may be your superpower, and then your people will love you because you're building that community, right? But 99% of our users don't even know who I am. They couldn't pick me out of a lineup or wouldn't know my name out of anything. That's the way I built my business. I'm not the outgoing person. Like that's work for me. That's tough, build your business the way you want it, but I would definitely recommend you using one of them third-party providers. I have used them. I haven't found any that were bad. They just didn't work for us.
Yeah, and it makes sense, especially as you said before with all the extensions and stuff. It's like kind of hard for them to provide support. They're for high level. Not
that's right.
Custom platform is now.
Yeah.
So one of the key things I think with SaaS is retention. You've spoken about how onboarding is really important to getting them using the product. Do you have like coaching sessions or live trainings or anything like that you're offering after they onboard and start using it to help continue to educate them on different things that are changing in the industry or anything like that?
Yes. So for the first year and a half, we had Sunday support with Susan. Live Zoom, bring all your questions every single Sunday, like clockwork. Now we've switched it up to Tech Tuesdays, and they're every other weekend. So yeah, we still do that. Last one was about websites. This one will be about marketing. I'm going to jump on there and explain the importance of their Google My Business, the importance of their reviews, the importance of branding, the importance of marketing, and it's bring all your questions. So if you got Facebook marketing questions, Google marketing questions, any of that, bring it so that we can help you out. We want to be as involved and helpful as possible to our users. I know I'm pretty good at marketing, and I could help probably some of my people. So, yeah.
What have you found that that has been something that people really appreciate and value? Or I know like sometimes when I'm parts of software or something, they'll have something like that, but I never actually utilize it. Are you finding that a lot of them are utilizing it and finding a bunch of value in it? And
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's the ones that need it, right? So, we may only have 50 people on there, but those 50 people, for them, those questions they need that help. And like we were having a conversation earlier, and you had talked about the owner being on there to answer your call, right? And how much that meant, and that was feeling pretty cool. Same thing. I'm a multi-million-dollar owner, and a lot of things on my plate, but I definitely want to take time out of my day as much as possible to help my community. Again, if you do that as a business owner, whether you're making 1 million, 10 million or more, that community is going to bring that back in droves. And we started that when we weren't making no money, and we will always be there for them no matter how much money we're blessed enough for them to bless us with. So 100%.
So you mentioned that you kind of, instead of making it like a general support call where they just ask questions, maybe you allow that for that to happen. It sounded like you have Susan or yourself or whatever. You'll talk about a particular topic, right?
Yeah.
And coach on that. Is there like kind of structure to that? Do you go off of questions that you see in the community? Do you have a schedule? Like, how do you kind of structure that?
We get about 100 support tickets a day. So within that week, we know what we need to talk about, whatever keeps getting brought up. Because things keep changing all the time, with texting, A to P, just different requirements from Twilio and all that. So, they've been doing a good job of giving us our topics because we were just having to make that pivot and explain the pivot to the community as best as we can. But, yeah, we typically run off of the support tickets to go by topic. Or if there's new features, GHL does a great job of keeping us bombarded with new features. So, yeah, so there's never really nothing to talk about. Yeah.
Well, that's actually brings up a point that I wanted to touch on. It's like, do you give your users access to all features in HighLevel, even at the $49 per month tier?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any kind of upsell? So once they purchase the $49 or the $497 lifetime, either one, there's no upsell. Okay.
At this point, no, but I'm working on 2. So
okay.
I
all right. So we continue then. So I think that you referenced multiple times in this conversation, like the importance of community. I know that you guys have a pretty large Facebook group. Aside from the weekly calls and stuff like that, what kind of other things are you doing to really promote that community and make it awesome and flourish?
Just a Facebook group, but it's a private Facebook group. You have to have the tool to be in it, and as soon as you cancel, we remove you from the group so that people can't just buy the tool $49 and then spam everybody in the group like we've had done 100 times. I mean, it's almost a full-time job now to keep spam up out of the group. Yeah. So. Yeah, but no, that we really find that you need somewhere to go. It's just so many people, especially in this space, aren't tech savvy. So we haven't added like Slack, which is way better in my opinion than Facebook. We'll make an announcement in the group, and it's only shown to 14 to 16% of the people. It's, it sucks, and you can do that at everyone now, but that didn't exist before. That's a brand new feature, and oddly enough, as the creator of the group, I don't even have access to the feature.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. That's right. I think it may be selective. The way that Facebook rolls stuff out sometimes is kind of strange in that way.
Yeah, it's really weird, but I can't even at my own group, so it sucks. But yeah.
When it comes to like, are you going in there? I'm sure people are asking questions all the time in there. What ends up happening is with these software particular groups, the SaaS particular groups, is like it becomes like a de facto community support group almost.
Yeah, we don't allow anyone. So we review all posts.
Okay.
So we're not. We will privately message, hey, that's a personal you problem. That's what support is for. Let us fix your problem. This isn't for everybody. And we're not letting, oh yeah, I've got a property and so. This would turn into a home posting group. That's not what this group is for. You know what I mean? So we're very strict. It pisses some people off, but at the end of the day, I don't want to be insensitive, but I don't give a shit. I don't want it to, you know what I mean? I don't want it to turn into your support group where one guy goes up there 7 questions. We've had this, but I mean, this is all the reasons why we don't allow this, because all this has happened. And I've been in other groups where it happened. So from day one, I said, look, we're locking every single question so that it doesn't get crazy. And it is what it is.
Well, I feel like we've covered quite a lot of topics. I want to kind of finish this out with
cool.
A question which is maybe a little bit, it's kind of a large question. If you had to say that if you had to give people 3 pieces of advice, okay, 3, for how they could start and launch their SaaS and try to get as many users as possible, what would those 3 pieces of advice be?
So the riches are in the niches. Niche down, find a problem that you can solve in a niche, become the expert to solve that problem. Number 2, community is everything. Don't worry about the sales, don't worry about the number, worry about your community. Make sure that they understand that you are willing to go up to bat for them. Make sure that they understand that they can rely on you, and they're going to love and trust and take care of you, and you're going to get everything that you want in the end anyway. And number 3 is it's more about entrepreneurialism. This shit ain't easy. You're gonna have some bad days. It's gonna suck, and have your mindset right, because you're gonna need it. There's gonna be times, where you're gonna find a link to another domain, and he's gonna have your identical website, didn't even change a comma. It's gonna test you. It's gonna be days like that. There's gonna be days where you wake up and your account was hacked for $45,000, and it's just gone, baby. It's just gone. But have your mindset right, because you're gonna need it. So it's an overall growth. You know what I mean? There's gonna be certain steps. You go to certain points, and you're gonna want to start fixing your credit. You're gonna want to start making big boy buying decisions. You're gonna want to start alleviating some of your tax concerns. So when I got my first $100,000 tax bill in 2020, I was like, whoa, what the heck? The rich people don't do this. They don't pay like that. We got to figure this out. So you know what I mean? It's a process. Enjoy the process, and you'll take it far. But have some patience too, because it is a process, and it's not an overnight success thing. So.
Well, what I think that could be condensed really well into like the plaque that you have in the background, which is sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
That's right.
I think that as an entrepreneur, you kind of have to maximize how adaptive you are to the situation, because the situation will never adapt to you.
As long as you never lose, you learn or you win, but you never lose. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, David, for hopping on. I think this is a very valuable podcast, and I appreciate it, man.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me. Anytime. I appreciate it. And let me know when we can do this again.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome.